Back to our live telecast of the third quarter final from Lang Park. Canterbury leading Brisbane by 2 points to 0. A penalty kick by Ross Conlon just before you went to that break. Played by Peter Kelly and given to Steve Mortimer. Out to Andrew Farrer. The game plan laid down by Warren Ryan. A fairly simple one. The roar of the crowd as Colin Scott takes it, running backwards and beats one, but runs into Lamb. And he's lost it. And a penalty, this time to Brisbane. This was the incident. The referee must have ruled that the player's progress had been effectively halted and that he couldn't release the ball, and he probably called held, and Terry Lamb went on with it. John Rebo. John Rebo back in this top flight side tonight. And that's a handoff by Linda. And trying to burrow his way through was Fullerton Smith. Across the ground and with Lewis, then turn back to Muller. Kellaway with a hit up the middle. He's reached the halfway mark. Played there by Kellaway, and it's gone out to the other front row forward, Richard Paulson. He plays it just into Canterbury's area. Canterbury 2, Brisbane no score. Out through Lewis, it's with Meninga. Just holding the pass back and slowing it down. It looked a negative piece of football. Lewis now kicks, and this looks okay off the boot, and he's done it again, Lewis. Another tremendous kick. The scrum will go down about 5 metres on the Canterbury, or inside the Canterbury 22 line.
The tactics of both sides are fairly obvious. Farrer's kicked the ball to clear for the Bulldogs, and Wally Lewis, who's got a tremendous kicking game, he showed us that in the internationals, is taking over that role for Brisbane, and the kicking clash between Canterbury and Brisbane is going to well determine the outcome of the match.
Scrum taking a good time to settle and set, and a penalty against Mortimer for his feed. Can be no argument about it. Deliberately into the second row. Differential penalty's been taken, and the tap is taken by Muller. Going ahead is Paulson. The other big prop forward is getting wound up, Kellaway, but first it's Niebling. Now it's back to Linda, and he's tackled more towards centre field.
And these are the situations where Wally Lewis, the Brisbane 5'8's dangerous. He's a very constructive player who can organise play. We can see there the long ball to Meninga.
Meninga taking it on the bounce and then struggling to free himself from the tackle. Again, it was Andrew Farrer who had the job of stopping him. It's out to Lewis, and Lewis holds it back and now pops a short ball, and Fullerton Smith is tackled about 8 metres out from the Canterbury line. Away goes Muller. He steps and comes inside, but he's run into the Canterbury defensive line. 5 gone now for Brisbane. Lewis to dummy half, feeds it back, and up goes the bomb from Brian Niebling. It's gone across the ground. They fly for it. Kilroy rakes it down. Terry Lamb has got it for Canterbury. And Lamb is taken in the defence there by Gene Miles. Kelly now trying to burrow his way through, but he was met by a very strong Brisbane defence. Kellaway and Paulson making the tackle. This is Batiste, and again the Brisbane defence swarming in. Played back to Billy Johnston. He spots the chance to go for a run. He reaches the 22 line. Mortimer, the kick coming from Farrer, getting more across the ground. This kick from Farrer bounces on the point and goes over the touchline. So it'll be a scrum about 15 metres on Canterbury side of the halfway, but though Farrer has been sent out there to clear with the kicks, twice now he's had to hurry his kicks, and they've come off the outside edge of the boot, and they haven't gone as far down ground as I'm sure his coach would have liked. 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Canterbury leading 2-0 and getting a penalty. Against the half, Foster for his feed. So both halves have been on the wrong side of the referee in the first 15 minutes. Terry Lamb taking the line kick. and the tap will be taken on the halfway line. Taken by Billy Johnston. Steve Mortimer hands it to Kelly. Kelly tries to make the bust, but the Brisbane defence thus far holding solid. In fact, we've seen that clean break made by Meninga, and that was all to this point in time. Away to Mortimer, now to Lamb. Cut-out pass on Farah, picking up on the far side of the ground Chris Mortimer. Running from dummy half is Andrew Farah, taking play about 25 metres out from the Brisbane line. Dummy half is Billy Johnston. Dummies to the blind, gives it open. It's with Folkes now, and he's reached the 22. 5 tackles have been indicated. What will Mortimer do? Here he is, electing to put the bomb up. The runners are going after it. Scott is underneath it. It's come off his hands. Scott, he hasn't cleaned it up at all, and he's ruled a turnover. Well, I can't understand how he could rule a turnover. It came off the hands of Colin Scott.
The only thing he could have ruled was that Scott didn't touch the ball, but with the benefit of our cameras, it was fairly obvious that he did.
It should have been 6 more tackles to Canterbury, 10 metres out from the uprights. No doubt in my mind that Colin Scott got a hand to it. However, it's gone on. A long pass from Lewis out to Rebo. He put over the top of Conlon, but Conlon just felled him long enough, and now it's been flicked out the back for Lewis to give it to Fullerton Smith, and he's reached the 22 line.
That sort of play indicates where Brisbane would like to play this match. They want to play it in their back line. We can see here that they're prepared to spread the ball in their own quarter.
This is Linda. He's down on the 22 line, his own end. Lewis. And out wide is Paulson, standing and getting a pass away to Fullerton Smith. And the ball lost. And the referee is going to put a scrum down. Ball lost in the tackle. Eddie Ward just indicating that he had called held. Mortimer to feed. Won by the Bulldogs, and a piece of work there between Mortimer and Steve Folkes, and Folkes is tackled just outside the 22. Tunks now. Just a little run from dummy half, gaining a few metres. Robinson. Strong run by Robinson, but the defence was even stronger. Paulson drove in strongly, so did Fullerton Smith. Mortimer works the blind, and then he gives it to Lamb. Lamb spins it back to Potter, and Mick Potter is tackled. It was a move that was sadly lacking in cohesion. Here's Kelly. The pass appeared forward to Johnston, but Billy Johnston must be over. He's given the try. He's given the try to Billy Johnston. A pass that I must admit I thought was forward when thrown. Let's see it again on the National Panasonic replay. Kelly got rid of one, stood in another, and then the pass went to Johnston, and he was over.
Too many hookers pass out of dummy half and don't follow the play. We can see here that Billy Johnston threw the pass to Peter Kelly, who stood in the tackle, got his arms free to Billy Johnston, who was backing up on the inside. It then became a one-on-one with Scott. Scott wasn't strong enough to hold him, even though he had support, and over goes Johnston for the try.
Actually landed short, Johnston, and the defence has almost pushed him over the line. The more I look at that pass, though, it probably was spot on. We're looking at it from an awful angle, but those different camera shots are showing that it may have well been as good as gold. The pass from Kelly to Johnston. The try has been given. The goal's been kicked. That's all that matters. Canterbury Bankstown are leading Brisbane by 8 points to 0. Ball back to the halfway with Wally Lewis. And already Brisbane in a spot of bother. This is Kelly. Taken by Miles. Johnston looking for a runner. Took him a while to find Peter Tunks. Tunks playing it now, short of the halfway mark. This is this is Robinson. Gain of about 10 metres. Mortimer giving it to Folkes. And Steve Folkes is tackled. Mortimer. His brother Chris kicking. It's being covered by by Colin Scott. Well, he seemed to have it well and truly covered, but he's only just now managed to get himself back into the field of play. And plays about 7 metres out now from the Brisbane line, with the home side trailing 8 points to 0. This is Kellaway. Keep your eyes out, of course, tonight, as is normal, for the try of the match. And give yourself a chance to enter the weekly competition, which I'll be telling you more about at halftime. Peter Mortimer, who's playing on the left wing, Ross Conlon on the right. And we're down inside the last 60 seconds of the first quarter, as it goes out to Steve Mortimer. Taking it ahead is Brian Batiste, and he's tackled in centre field about 28 metres out. Steve Mortimer away from dummy half, and there was no mark of defence, and he was able to make a gain of about 10 metres, but he ran into Wally Lewis and he was wrapped up, ball and all. Tunks goes ahead now, and Tunks is about 15 metres out, and 5 tackles have been indicated. As we look now for Terry Lamb, he goes for the drop goal, and it's hit the upright, bounced back into the field of play, and Stacks on the mill. A penalty has gone to the Brisbane team. He's ruled Andrew Farrer was offside. The kick by Lamb hit the upright, bounced back into the field of play, and he's ruled Andrew Farrer, the Canterbury centre, offside. So the siren has sounded, but the tap is to be taken by Wally Lewis. He kicks ahead, Rebo's going after it fast. Mortimer has to go across and take it. And that's the end of the first 20 minutes, with Canterbury Bankstown leading Brisbane by 8 points to 0.
Thursday night, TVO presents the triumphant true story of how a team of determined young men stunned the world.
The first Olympic Games of modern times will take place in the city of Athens.
The first Olympics.
We shall light its flame once more, and this time, keep it burning.
An all-star cast including Louis Jourdain, Angela Lansbury, David Ogden Stiers, and introducing Benedict Taylor as Australia's first medal winner, Edwin Flack.
Run for us in the 800 metre this afternoon and you can win for England.
Australia is my country. I consider it an honour to run for her.
Their courage will touch you, their daring will thrill you, their strength will inspire you. Over 2 exciting nights, the first Olympics, premiering 9:30 Thursday on TVO, your Olympic station.
Together is great, but not when you're driving, so Mazda gives you new Mazda Traveller. Never before family comfort like this. Headroom, legroom, room to move. Mazda. Never before family luxury like this. Cloth-covered seats, audio with graphic equalizer, automatic sunroof. Mazda. Never before family driving like this. Family driving that gives you it all. New Mazda Traveller, cause Mazda gives you...
Now hear this. The Sharpshooter Spectacular is on right now at Walton's. So take aim and pick up bargains like these. This incredible sharp 48cm stereo TV adds a new dimension to your favorite programs. While this sharp stereo video recorder is another technological marvel at a super price. Cook gourmet dinners or tasty snacks with the Sharp Excella 40 microwave. Aim for your Sharpshooter savings on the full Sharp range now at Walton's.
You can count on a Queenslander for riding the crest of the wave. You can count on a Queenslander for building the world of today. You can count on a Queenslander for having a heart full of pride. You can count on a Queenslander for being on the winning side. You can count on a Queenslander for giving the world a show, for showing them what we know. It's the Queensland way to go. You can count
the Queensland way. That's how we do it at the Bank of Queensland. With unique computerized systems and unique services, the Queensland way is a better way.
You can count on a Queenslander.
Superpower. The
battery with 9 lives. Ever-ready super, bounding with power, that runs and runs and keeps on running. You can rely on Ever-ready Super. For super power, super life, super heavy-duty batteries at a not-so-heavy price.
Welcome back to Lang Park, Brisbane. You're watching live the third quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup for 1984. Canterbury with 1 try and 2 goals are leading Brisbane 8 points to 0. The try was scored by Billy Johnston. The way I saw it originally, it looked like this pass was forward, but the more you watch it on that particular angle and the other angle shot that we gave you, it seemed like a fair try. He definitely fell short, but the actual push that he got from the tackle took him across the line. So the camps are at the moment receiving instructions from their coaches. Bob McCarthy in shot at the moment, the coach of the Brisbane team. Warren Ryan in charge of the Canterbury club, and what a successful year it's proving for Canterbury. This Brisbane side, as I told you earlier, without the services of Greg Dowling and Mark Murray, they're both out injured. I was talking to Bob McCarthy. I said, with the exception of Murray, Dowling and Konecki, just how close would this be to the type of side that Queensland would feel if they went it alone in a state of origin match? And he said very, very close. There's as he put it, only a struck match between some of his players in the Brisbane side and, in fact, the actual rep side that Queensland puts on the field. So the crowd waiting impatiently now for resumption of play. Scrums and penalties at this stage. 3-1 the scrums, 3-all the penalties, and scrums against the feed, 1 each, which is probably the most important statistic to come out of scrum counts these days. Those scrums won against the feed.
Put it on the desk. Okay,
So a rather lengthy delay prior to the restart. But now we've got some action with Conlon sending it deep into Brisbane's area, and Linda comes out to the 22 line. Played back to Fullerton Smith, and it's now with Kellaway. Big lump of a lad, Kellaway. Easily the tallest member of the Brisbane side. Paulson throwing the pass that he was more or less hoping would come into the arms of a Brisbane player. It did just that as Lewis gave it to Meninga. Farah taking him successfully this time. This is Kellaway.
It's noticeable how wide the Brisbane centres are able to stand, because Wally Lewis can throw such a long pass, and virtually they're standing 30 metres from him, and he's still able to hit them in the chest with the ball.
Here's Miles, a short pass away, picking up lock forward Linda, and that's 5 tackles gone for Brisbane. Away to Lewis, turns it on the inside, picks up Foster, he chips ahead. That may have come off his hands, but it doesn't matter anyway, because it's back with Canterbury. Played by Peter Mortimer. Michael Potter gets out of dummy half. That was the replay of the little kick and chase by Foster. We're back live with Mortimer. And now Batiste.
To my mind, Brisbane could improve their performance if Wally Lewis had less to do. At the moment, Lewis takes almost every first pass off the ruck, and it should be fairly obvious to Canterbury that wherever Lewis is where the ball's going.
Steve Folkes to play it now. Play around the halfway mark. Out to Mortimer. Now to Lamb. This man is Farah. His pass has gone to ground, and Brisbane pick up the scraps. It's easier than winning a scrum. Out to Lewis. Away and through the hands of the second row forward. Niebling, and it's gone from Miles to Linda. Linda has tackled about 35 metres out from the Canterbury line as Brisbane pile it on now. Niebling, strong run by Niebling, reaching the 22 line. 8-0, Brisbane needing points. Foster, Lewis. Lewis cutting back inside and wrapped up effectively there by Steve Folkes. Linda passes. Long ball. With it is Richard Paulson. He's up to the 22. Away from one. Stepping out of another. Handing the ball off to Fullerton Smith. And he's tackled on the 5th. Played back and it's come away again for Lewis. Lewis puts up the bomb. Getting underneath it is Potter. And Potter has taken it successfully. That was his first real test here at Lang Park tonight under the bomb. But Potter took it nicely. He got a bit of cover from Kelly. 15 metres away from the Canterbury line. Brian Batiste plays it. Robinson running with it. Not gaining very much ground as the front rowers tackling as a pair. Bring Robinson down. Tunks now. Again, the defence of Brisbane typified by that tackle from Niebling and Kellaway. And a penalty going to Canterbury against Brian Niebling for not releasing the tackle player. But you can see what happened there from the replay. Tunks was probably just as much to blame. Chris Mortimer's line finder.
Canterbury are very adept at playing the ball quickly, and that gives them the momentum to get a roll on and take the ball downfield. If you can have a look here in this set of 6 tackles, you'll see how their players struggle to get to their feet quickly and play the ball.
Foster inside the 22. Kelly was the man who lost it for Canterbury. Now Foster's lost the ball in the play the ball, and Ward has put down a scrum. The crowd don't like it. One would have thought that a penalty should have been given to Brisbane because Mortimer was hanging on to the ankle of Foster. Mortimer to feed. Scrum won by Brisbane against the feed. Foster has another go at playing it. This time he gets the penalty. Well, quite an incredible chain of events there. It all started with Foster being held by Mortimer, then losing the ball, and referee Ward put the scrum down when I thought he should have given a penalty. The scrum was set. We got back to where we started from, and now the penalty has in fact gone to Brisbane. And Mal Meninga looking to put first points on the board for the home team.
It's very important for Meninga and Brisbane that he's able to kick this one. Should he not kick the goal, and it's a very central one, he's going to lose a lot of confidence. And when you're missing goals, the next one becomes even harder.
Beautiful night in Brisbane. Of course, sport dominating the pages of the newspapers with the big races here today, the big football tonight, and of course the Australians getting ready for the Davis Cup. Meninga, he's got an easy one. He's just off centre, and he's 15 metres out. Hits it, and he's got it. Meninga raises the flags and raises the voices of the Brisbane fans here to encourage him. 8-2 to Canterbury.
Thursday night on Scarecrow and Mrs. King. Amanda's got something that a desperate criminal wants.
It's him.
That's Carlo.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King. The action series, Thursday night, 7:30 on TVO, your Olympic station.
Skate on, straight on, rate on, milk. Hot on, spot on, hot on, milk.
Dialed on, smiled on, wild on milk. Go on, get on, milk.
Warm up winter the French way. with a pot of hot Café au lait. Instant coffee with steaming hot milk.
Hot on, spot on, hot on, hot on milk. Live on, live on, live on. Live on milk.
At Porsche, we believe there is one oil as technologically advanced as our engines, Shell XMO. It's low viscosity. So, when you start your engine, it flows to the top faster than other oils, giving the whole engine immediate protection. It's that first few seconds of starting that's critical for engine wear, especially at the top of your engine.
Get top protection with Shell XMO.
If you're in the market for a 4-cylinder car today, there's only one dealer who can give you the pick of the pack. And right now, his big factory bonus deals on Ford Meteor are irresistible. His bonus deals on Car of the Year Ford Telstar put you way in front. And the same special deals on the stunning TX5 make you a sure winner. But be quick. These pick of the pack bonus deals must end August 31st. See your Ford dealer now and save.
They are the children of the corn. They must obey he who walks among the rows. And they live in a world where adults are not allowed to live. Children of the corn. A new kind of nightmare. An adult nightmare. Stephen King's Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn commences tomorrow at Hoyt's Entertainment Centre and Hoyt's Coopers Plains Drive-In.
Canterbury Bankstown leading Brisbane by 8 points to 2. Oh, shoulder charge by Billy Johnston. Now let's see. A Brisbane player is on his back. I was watching the shoulder charge by Johnston on Kellaway, and then all of a sudden I've looked back and there's this fallen Brisbane player. Brian Batiste is the man in number 9 being spoken to. Niebling was the man on the end of it. The penalty has been taken by Wally Lewis. Fullerton Smith taking it ahead. Oh, that was a bone-crushing tackle by Foach. He hit Paulson, he shook him up. This is Linda. Then another good tackle. Batiste getting in with Chris Mortimer. Now Kellaway. And 3 Canterbury players go in, but the ball is not with the player they're tackling.
See examples there of how disjointed Brisbane become when Lewis isn't in to take the first pass to organise their play.
It's with Lewis now. Meninga. Oh, Farah came up very quickly. Taking Meninga in the defence then. Lewis sending it down, and Michael Potter comes away. Tackled about 8 metres short of the halfway, but another penalty. And a further 10 yards. A further 10 metres for back-chatting. Ward has given several penalties for stealing the ball. Let me tell you that he apparently is calling held very, very quickly. He's doing that in an endeavour to keep play running free. And once he's called held and players steal the ball, then he's left with no alternative. It's got him offside with the crowd a few times, but that's the edict that he's handed down to them, and he's staying consistent. Conlon with a big kick. He took a very big divot, and it's fallen well short. Gene Miles runs it out. Miles has lost it, and another penalty. Again for stealing the ball. And back-chatting against Canterbury now. So exactly the same thing happens. I do admit that on occasions it seems that he's calling held very early. But no one can complain about consistency. He's handing them out to both sides. Rebo. Midway between the 22 and the halfway. Canterbury's end of the field with Canterbury leading by 8 points to 2. This man is Paulson. He had his back teeth shaken by a tackle earlier from Steve Folkes. Gee, it was a hit. Scott across the ground and a handoff on the inside for Kellaway.
You just mentioned Paulson, Ray. He's a former New South Wales schoolboys player.
This is Linda doing well to advance the position of the football on the field. And the same thing again. Well, Eddie Ward is really handing out penalties left, right and centre for stealing the ball. I'm not so sure that he's not overdoing it a bit, though.
And some of those look very premature. A player moving in to make a tackle is entitled to go for the ball.
Viewers, of course, at the end of the year will get the chance to match up the nominated golden tries and match them correctly with the judge's viewpoint. And waiting for the winner from you people at home is, for you people at home, the trip for two flying Japan Airlines to Japan and then on to Los Angeles. Fantastic prize there at the end of the year for one of the viewers as Meninga raises the flags again. 8 points to 4 now in favour of Canterbury Bankstown. You're watching the National Panasonic Cup live from Lang Park. Conlon bringing it back for the restart. And it's gone very deep down to Colin Scott. Dummies to Foster, keeps going. He's away from a couple. And eventually it's left to Terry Lamb to make the tackle. Kilroy, pursued by Farah. Now Farah's taken the ball from him. And Canterbury come up with it on the Brisbane 22. This is Kelly. Now Tunks. Tunks getting back into the middle of the ruck. Passing and finding Farah. And he's tackled there by Wally Lewis. And the ball has come free. It's with Billy Johnston. Gone through Mortimer. Now it's Conlon. And Conlon has tackled about 18 metres out from the Brisbane line. This is Terry Lamb. Dummy half Mortimer. He may go. He's off himself. Picks up Kelly on the inside. 5 tackles gone now. Mortimer at dummy half. Decides to run and then puts the little kick in. And it's bounced in the in goal. Bounced back and it's been taken by Meninga. And Meninga tries to get back in the field of play, but he's been forced in goal. So the line drop out to restart.
That was a brave move by Brisbane, in particular Wally Lewis, who was prepared to let the ball bounce in the in-goal area, hoping it to go dead. And finally, the ball, Canterbury were very unlucky not to come up with a try.
Just as well Meninga was on the spot at that particular time, because Steve Folkes had raked the ball back into the in-goal area and he'd given Canterbury a very good chance had there been a follower there. This is Tunks, who originally was chosen as a reserve for this match, Peter Tunks. Robinson, ridden into the ground by Kellaway.
We can see in the back of the defensive line of Brisbane that Wally Lewis is playing a sweeper cover defensive role. We'd normally expect to see a 5'8" up in the front line, but obviously they respect the fact that Wally can organise and control play so well, and he's doing all of the controlling of their defence.
Cotter. Mortimer. Batiste. Kelly. Chris Mortimer to the 22 line. And in a touch. Very strong tackle by Meninga and Kilroy, particularly Meninga. Chris Mortimer, taken by Meninga. He hit him and drove him and then flung him over the touchline. Penalty to Brisbane against Canterbury for collapsing the scrum. Canterbury leading by 8 points to 4. Just the one try in the match so far was scored by Billy Johnston, the Canterbury hooker. Muller takes the tap. This is Kellaway. Paulson. That's the halfway line. Niebling. Played just into Canterbury's territory. Lewis. Foster. Kellaway. Getting back inside, finding Foster. Foster's found a gap. Got the pass back, but Rebo couldn't take it. And Chris Mortimer is tackled heavily by Linda. Steve Mortimer now. Batiste. Brian Niebling is receiving attention in the back of play. There he is. It's an ankle injury that Niebling has suffered. Mortimer. Lamb cutting out Farah, picking up Chris Mortimer. There's Michael Potter into the back line. Dummy half is Peter Mortimer. And we're going to have a scrum go down just on the Brisbane side of halfway. Canterbury 8, Brisbane 4.
It's here.
This is nuts.
One of the most spectacular movies ever made.
Oh, shit.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
What the hell is going on around here? Who are you people?
From Steven Spielberg comes the complete special edition of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The movie spectacular, Saturday night, 7:30 on TVO.
Introducing new Libra Slim. Like all Libra pads, they have a fine quilted cover to stay drier. And like all Libra pads, they absorb more evenly because of their special fibre inside. But because they're compressed, they still give you all the protection of a regular pad without all the bulk. So only you will know how comfortable and discreet they are. New Libra Slim. Full pad protection, slim pad freedom from the Libra range.
With the Olympic Games starting soon, Chandlers are at the top of their competitive form with winning products at winning prices. Save $10 on GE food processors that convert to 5-speed blenders in seconds. GE electric kettles with fast boil element only $16.95 plus $3 cash back from GE. Sunbeam Clean Sweep 850-watt vacuum cleaners with automatic cord rewind $69.95. So join me in the winning circle at Chandlers.
Chandlers. We stand behind the product we sell.
Since the powerful new Mitsubishi Sigma threw off its chains and broke loose, here's what the motoring experts have been saying. The new look Sigma is sharper looking, quieter to ride in, and better equipped. Silence is one of the car's strongest points. The Sigma is still the most powerful among the family fours. New 84 Sigma, the strong, silent type. It's another Mitsubishi.
What do people think of Jaffas?
Well, I just simply love Jaffas.
No, I never had a Jaffa.
If anyone wants to give me a present, I always say, please give me Jaffas.
Really, really.
Yes, and I'm still eating them.
Sort of got a very chocolatey, orangey taste.
I've played marbles with Jaffas.
No, not with Jaffas.
I love that crunchy feeling.
People like you like Jaffas.
And as you come back to us, a penalty has just been given to Canterbury within kicking distance for Ross Conlon. About 15 metres in from touch on the old grandstand side. Terry Lamb was making a run downfield. He was tackled by Gene Miles. And it was Miles who brought the penalty against Brisbane. And Conlon will take the kick from about 35 metres out. and 15 metres in from touch. And just looking at Brian Niebling, he is being taken from the field and is about to be replaced. I thought they may have gone on with 12 men till half-time. Gavin Jones will go onto the field in jumper number 17. But that's a tragedy for Brisbane to lose Brian Niebling. He'd been playing very strongly. There's the replacement on in 17. Conlon's kick. Away to the right of the uprights. Canterbury continued to lead by 8 points to 4. And the dropout from the 22 is taken by Gene Miles. With Ross Conlon now. Conlon to the halfway. 2 minutes, or less than that in fact, 1 minute to go to half-time. This is Batiste. Player who makes the golden try in 1984 will receive from Carlton and United Breweries a cold gold ingot valued at $5,000. Just another part of the huge prize money on offer in the National Panasonic Cup. The winning team in mid-August taking up in the vicinity of $125,000. This is Colin Scott, parcelled up on the 32-metre point. His own end of the field as Miles goes for a run from dummy half. To the blind side with Kellaway now. Replacement on in jumper number 17 is Gavin Jones. And here's Linda coming onto the ball very strongly. Tunks now takes it back for Canterbury. As the siren sounds, that's the end of the first half. And Canterbury goes to the break with 1 try and 2 goals, leading Brisbane by 8 points to 4. We'll take a break and we'll come back live to Lang Park in just a moment.
It's great news for viewers of our outstanding Australian mini-series, Bodyline. Just by watching the program, you can win a Stuart Surridge cricket bat autographed by our own Don Bradman and an NEC video recorder, plus 300 movie swap package from our good friends at Electronic Sales and Rentals. You'll find full details and entry forms in your Daily Sun.
Harry White wears King G permanent press. When something like this happens, does he get uptight? No way.
Hey, you.
Because that good-looking gear looks after itself. Dirt-proof with Scotchgard stain release. So even the worst stains just wash out. Then they drip dry to a knife-edge crease.
Don't do it again, huh?
Right, Harry? King G permanent press. They know how to look after themselves.
This is one hell of a small sedan. Nissan Pulsar. Does Pulsar go further on a tank than Gemini or Corolla?
Yep.
And have more rear seat room than either of them?
Yep.
But do Gemini or Corolla boast the modern technology of Pulsar's 1.5-litre engine?
No way!
New M&M's. Delicious, full cream milk chocolate. Only M&M's are stamped with the M of quality. New M&M's. The neater, more convenient way to enjoy milk chocolate. Because the milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Try them and see. The milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
They're new, double insulated, inexpensive, and there's an entire range. So don't settle for less than the latest from AEG.
Welcome back to Lang Park, Brisbane, with the half-time scoreline favouring Canterbury by 8 points to 4. 1 try to Billy Johnston and 2 goals to Ross Conlon, opposed to 2 penalty goals kicked by Mal Meninga for the Brisbane side. The scrums at half-time are 4-all, with 1 scrum each going against the feed, and the penalties favour Brisbane by 10-7. Well, Bill Anderson, at half-time, are you any more confident about making a choice as to the ultimate outcome?
I'm no wiser as to the result. I still think that Brisbane are very much in the game, but Canterbury Bankstown played as we would expect. They had a very good kicking game. Their defence was strong. Their attack was very precise and patterned. They set for everything they did. I still feel that Brisbane could improve their game if they gave Lewis less responsibility. I think they're somewhat predictable in that Lewis is going to take every first pass off the ruck. He's very good at it. He's a great player, but I think that you always know where the ball's going. It's going to whatever side Wally Lewis is.
Bill, the try scored by Billy Johnston from where we're sitting, and we're getting a rear-end view of it almost, there seemed to be, on the first view of it, a little bit of a doubt. But here it is. It came after 17 minutes of the first half. But the more you watch it, the more you're, I believe anyway, happier to accept it as a fair pass from Peter Kelly, and in fact a good pass.
There was a hint of a forward pass in the try. Johnson did very well to back up and to receive the pass back off Kelly. We're not in a good enough position, obviously, up here to determine if it was forward or not. Wally Lewis, as one might consider, he thought it was a forward pass.
Well, there it is, the try scored by Billy Johnston, and Canterbury leading by 8 points to 4. Brisbane's loss of Brian Niebling, that I think will come against them, because he's a mighty fine player, and with that experience playing for Australia and playing for Queensland State of Origin, he's getting better and better.
Well, Niebling is going to be a huge loss, not just in defence. We all know he's a good defensive player, but also in attack. He's one of the few Brisbane players who is consistently playing the ball quickly and making good forward progress.
Who do you think's been the best of the Canterbury players?
Well, Canterbury have had slightly the better of play, and as such their players have been able to shine more. I've been impressed by Potter. I've been impressed with him all year. I think he's one of the finds of the season. Billy Johnson's had a good game around the rucks, and Peter Tunks has taken the ball up particularly hard. Terry Lamb had a great game at 5'8", and these are two of the best 5'8" you'd ever want to see. Lewis and Lamb, it's always a great clash, and tonight's been no different.
I tell you the fellow I'm particularly impressed with, and Bob McCarthy warned us about a fellow called Bob Linder, the lock forward for Brisbane, but with a bit more experience, he could be anything.
He certainly could. Linder broke very quickly from one scrum, almost came up with a try. We weren't in a position to judge if he was onside or offside, but he looks like he's got the goods. McCarthy has sung his praises for a few years, but they've got some good players, Brisbane, there's no doubt about it. I think they'd like to play the game in the back line. They've got the advantage there of Miles and Meninga, who are experienced internationals. They're very big, strong players. Canterbury, of course, would like to play the game in the forwards and then use their very fine and fast halves in their kicking game.
Well, last Wednesday night, the National Viewers Try competition, we came up with the winning try out of the Eastern Suburbs versus New South Wales Country game. It was played, as you might recall, in that quagmire at Leichhardt, and the try that came out of it on top was the one scored by David Green. So Bevan's all right to play it now. And Finlayson has run into a gap. It's gone on to Tom Arbour. It's across to Hastings. Arbour backs him up, picked up by Hardy. And it's gone out to Leggett. Leggett's looking at David Green and telling him to go inside. Green stays outside, heads for the corner. He's beaten the full-back. He's taken another one over. And there's the prize. This week it's been won by Edward Rowe of Dundas, New South Wales. It's the National Compact Disc Player, valued at $900. And Edward Rowe of Dundas, congratulations. And to enter, you just put your name and address and the name of the try scorer on the back of an envelope and send it off to National Viewers Try, P.O. Box 144, North Ryde, New South Wales 2113. And also, if you obtain an entry form from a national dealer, as well as the compact disc player, you receive as a bonus a national portable colour television, just like the one on screen at the moment, valued at $549. All right, we'll take another commercial break and then come back for more live action from Lang Park in the third quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup. Welcome back. Canterbury leading Brisbane, if you've just joined us, from this special live telecast of our third quarter final in a different time slot. And I guess there are some people who've just sort of caught up with it. Canterbury leading Brisbane by 8 points to 4. Billy Johnston scoring for Canterbury. After 17 minutes of the first quarter, Ross Conlon has kicked 2 goals, whilst Mal Meninga kicked 2 penalty goals in the second quarter. Now, Brisbane have lost Brian Niebling during the second quarter. That man on camera, Jones, in 17, came on to replace Brian Niebling 2 minutes out from half-time. And Canterbury are just coming out now. They'll be coming out minus Jeff Robinson. And his place has been taken by David Gillespie, who will be playing in jumper number 16. There he is now in the centre of screen. Gillespie, he scored a try on Sunday, in fact, against Balmain. He's a good young player. I didn't call it in that passage of play in the second quarter, but I saw Robinson go in for a tackle, and he came out of it clutching at a shoulder. So it won't surprise me if the report on Jeff Robinson is a shoulder injury. So the breeze, as if on command, has dropped as Brisbane come out to restart the second half. They were to run into what wasn't a strong breeze, but it certainly was more evident in the first half of proceedings. Potter bringing it out, and Meninga getting up very quickly and hitting the young Canterbury fullback. This is Kelly. Kelly, who played strongly in the first 40 minutes, and in fact was the man who got that pass away, that valuable pass away to Billy Johnston. Steve Mortimer now giving it to Farah, and Farah is tackled about 30 metres out from his line.
The fact that Wally Lewis is playing back in the sweeper role necessitates the halfback, Foster, coming up into the defensive line, and it wouldn't surprise me if Warren Ryan decided to run some of his bigger forwards at Foster wherever he happens to line up in that defensive pattern.
That kick downfield taken by Chris Mortimer, and taking it back now is Colin Scott, met by the chasers. Gillespie was one, Johnston the other. Now Rebo getting in closer to play the ball to take a bit of the load off the forwards. Former Manly winger. And Jones taking it up very solidly, but he was taken around the chest by Kelly, and you saw the result. Crunch and bingo. Gillespie and Kelly hitting simultaneously, and Gavin Jones really going for a tumble. Meninga getting a one-handed pass away. Kilroy can't handle. It's been picked up and scooped away. It's back with Jones. And he hits the front line again on tackle number 5. Play about 7 or 8 metres on the Brisbane side of halfway as Lewis kicks. It's gone straight to Potter. And he's very dangerous from this situation, Potter. If you're going to kick to him, you've got to chase, and chase very quickly. Rebo making the tackle that time. Farah now, met by Fullerton Smith and by Rebo. It's almost as if Bobby McCarthy has told Rebo to get more involved, use his speed, use his size. This is Batiste. Still just on the Canterbury side of halfway. Canterbury leading 8 points to 4 as it comes through the halves and goes out into the centres, where it's Potter coming in between the centres. Pass by Chris Mortimer to brother Steve, and that kick is nicely placed between fullback and winger, although Scott has covered plenty of ground. Takes it in spectacular fashion, and then is met by Peter Mortimer and bundled into the ground. 10 metres on the Brisbane side of halfway. From dummy half comes Kilroy, and he's tackled by Peter Tunks. Played back to Muller. This is Wally Lewis. And now a one-handed pass from Paulson to Foster. It's gone to Rebo. Rebo holds Connell off with one hand, gets it back to Foster. He's away from Johnston. As they pass, it goes to Jones now. He's met by Batiste and Tunks. And Brisbane doing a lot of passing on that particular occasion, but they didn't go anywhere in a forward direction. Lewis turning it back inside for Linda. He's been promising to make a clean break, this kid, Linda. And it won't shock me if he strides into open pasture very shortly. Already he's made a couple of half breaks. Put down by Foster. And it's going to be a scrum about 5 metres on the Canterbury side of the halfway. Well, it was as if Henry Foster wasn't looking at the ball as it was coming to him. He was thinking about what he was going to do with it. Canterbury wins the scrum, and Terry Lamb is parcelled up by Wally Lewis, standing very flat from the scrum. Wally, of course, has tremendous respect for both Terry Lamb and Brett Kenny, and every time you put him in a contest against them head-to-head, it brings out the best in Wally Lewis, that's for sure. Potter, that's Conlon, taken by Rebo. The ball has been lost in the play the ball. 6 more tackles, says the referee. This is Potter now.
Canterbury are starting to gain some overlaps and develop extras out wide. There's no doubt in my mind that coach Warren Ryan has suggested that Brisbane are short out near the flanks, and that's where the fullback Potter is injecting himself.
Johnston. This is Kelly. Kelly's 25 metres out from the Brisbane line. Tackled by Lewis and by Paulson. And it's with Steve Mortimer now. He kicks over the head of the three-quarters who are coming up. Scott had to cover a lot of ground, but he did it well. Takes the tackle now, just inside his 22. Smart piece of work there by Steve Mortimer. He realised that Wally Lewis was in the second marker position, and there was no actual cover defence on that particular occasion, so he just chipped over the top into a hole, but Scott made a lot of ground in getting to the ball. Meninga can't handle. Now Rebo's got the ball, and the referee will play the knock on just inside the Brisbane 22 line.
No, on many occasions Brisbane are pushing the pass, and this is one of them in their own quarter. It's all well and good to try and move the ball about, but not when the defence is sitting on top of you.
Fed by Mortimer, won by Canterbury. Mortimer looks to the blind side. Well, Colin Scott, the Brisbane fullback, he was standing shoulder to shoulder with the Canterbury wing three-quarter. When Mortimer turned, he was going to pass to the blind, and he looked out and he saw the Brisbane fullback standing there. Gillespie losing the ball. Linda goes away with it for Brisbane.
Now let's see if on this occasion Brisbane are going to give a little bit more respect to their own quarter line and try and ruck the ball out of this area rather than pass it out of the area.
Linda again, tackled by Steve Mortimer. That brought a roar from the crowd. Out to Lewis. He switches the point of the attack, and it's out with Mal Meninga. He gets the pass away. Running with it is Gene Miles, and Miles is tackled just on his side of the halfway.
That was a very good reverse pass by Wally Lewis, and one of the great skills he's got, one of his tremendous attributes, is his awareness of the players around him. Not just his kicking, his passing and his tackling, but his sense of the game. He knows where his supports are.
Here's Foster now. Meninga again. Well taken out there by Peter Mortimer. And Meninga will play it about 10 metres into Canterbury's territory. They're on the last tackle as Lewis kicks. Potter's there, takes it nicely, Potter, and starts his run downfield. He's beaten Lewis. He's got inside Kellaway, but taken by Jones. Now to Mortimer. Lamb. That's Gillespie out wide. Back on the Canterbury quarter line. Tunks. Miles and Kellaway making the tackle together with Fullerton Smith. Lamb shapes to kick, doesn't. Jensen gets between them. Terry Lamb's made a big run. He's found Steve Folkes backing up, but a good cover tackle by the wing three-quarter Kilroy. But Canterbury go ahead. That was a heavy tackle by Wally Lewis, and Wally Lewis is very concerned about Billy Johnston. Lewis made the tackle on Johnston, and he knew straight away that something was wrong because Wally didn't move. He just said to the referee, get the trainer out. And Billy Johnston is not well, and the most concerned man on the ground is Wally Lewis. He hit him, and he hit him rather accidentally and in an unorthodox fashion. Scoreline, no change to the half-time readout. Canterbury 8, Brisbane.
I have a bunch of savages out here just aching to splatter you all over the place.
They fight for the same cause. They live by the same code, but now the law has made them enemies. Death Hunt, based on the true story of one of the greatest manhunts ever.
Anybody's going to bring Albert Johnson in, it's going to be me, not some bounty hunter or a fly boy bucking for promotion.
Lee Marvin has the badge and the determination to get his man.
Would it make any difference if I waited? If I left now, I'd never know what it would have been like with you.
Charles Bronson has the wilderness.
We've been hunting a man that knows how to live off the land, and here's the terrain.
And the will to be free.
Pure fact is he's running to save his hide. Johnson didn't do anything I wouldn't do if I was in his boots. If I thought the killing would stop here, I'd let him go.
Charles Bronson, Lee Marvin in Death Hunt. Two men of equal courage face each other as enemies and triumph as heroes. Death Hunt, for the first time on television, Sunday night, 8:30 on TVO.
We've all got the fever, the games are drawing near. Olympic shakes and Sundays, you'll only get them here. We're spreading Olympic fever, we're giving a great big cheer. 5 great new flavors, you'll only get them here. McDonald's! Olympic shakes and Sundays.
McDonald's Olympic Shakes and Sundays. 5 delicious new fruit flavors, a different one each week.
McDonald's! You'll only get them here.
This week's flavor, blackberry.
Canterbury leading by 4 points as we come back and find Steve Mortimer putting the bomb up. Colin Scott again under pressure. 3 times they've bombed to him and 3 times he's had trouble with it. A penalty has gone to Brisbane. That was against the Canterbury players getting inside the 5 when in front of the kicker. It was a correct ruling by Eddie Ward, and he's marched them another 10 for back-chatting. Lewis taking the penalty and finding the line about 30 metres out from his own goal line. Ball to be played by Paulson. This is Kellaway. Now Lewis. Miles. And good defence by Gillespie. Penalty. Again to Brisbane. Against Kelly. And so Canterbury Bankstown are backpedaling at the moment. Brisbane taking the tap. And Kellaway launches the attack over the 22 line. From the blind side for an open side run goes Paulson. By golly, he's a willing worker, this Richard Paulson. There goes the Brisbane chant. They're right behind them now. Foster plays it 15 metres out from the Canterbury line. Lewis looking to switch the point of the attack. Wally Lewis about 5 metres out from the Canterbury line. Can Canterbury hold them? It's gone out through Fullerton Smith to Meninga. This is Miles. And he's 10 metres out from the Canterbury line. 5 tackles gone for Brisbane now. Meninga passes. Finds Fullerton Smith. Up goes the bomb. Not a bad one either. And it's taken by Steve Mortimer. And here comes Mortimer down ground to be tackled by John Rebo. So the pressure off for Canterbury. Fullerton Smith's bomb. Taken by Steve Mortimer. There was a Brisbane player following the kick, and I must admit, all I saw was him disappear from the picture. Whether he was hit by a Canterbury player, I'm not sure.
I thought he came in contact with the Canterbury heel.
Peter Tunks clutching at a knee. That was the incident. In Big League out today, a story of how next year the New South Wales Rugby League are introducing a new system of identification of club players. They'll introduce the numbering of 1 to 55 instead of the 3 grades 1 to 13. Also, state match New South Wales jumpers will carry, the New South Wales players will carry their names on the back of their jerseys. The centrefold this week is of Brad Izzard, and news that Balmain are chasing Englishmen Gary Schofield and John Joyner. All that and more in Big League out today. You're watching live from Lang Park, Brisbane, the 3rd quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup. Canterbury kicking the ball from just outside their 22 line. It's going down to Colin Scott. Knocked backwards. He took a look at the referee as if to say, is that okay? And he plays it now just outside the 22. Kilroy goes for a run. Kilroy with a run of about 10 metres and picking up Rebo. Rebo turns it back inside, picks up Meninga. Meninga's reached the halfway line. Good piece of work there Started by Kilroy, finished by Meninga. Miles, who for the most part has been well contained in this match, Gene Miles. Fullerton Smith's pass picked up by Rebo. And the tackler was Peter Tunks. Jones getting play just into Canterbury's area. They're on their last tackle now. Lewis, the bomb in midfield, going down to Potter. Scott's gone through fast. Knock on by Potter. And it's 6 more tackles for Brisbane. Kellaway, he's lost it. And Mortimer comes up with it for Canterbury Bankstown. Johnston. Right on the 22. Kelly. Peter Tunks. Mortimer getting a shot in for line and finding it. Good kick by Steve Mortimer. Excellent kick by Mr. Magic. Finding the line about 25 metres out from the Brisbane try line. Scrum one against the feed, coming out to the right winger, Ross Conlon. So Canterbury with a very good opportunity to launch a try-scoring attacking raid here. Folks, right in centre field, 32 metres out. Chris Mortimer, good run, good gain of about 10 metres. From Billy Johnston, across to Steve Mortimer, now to Terry Lamb. He grubber kicks ahead, and it's come down to Richard Paulson. The knock-on has been ruled, and a scrum will be set just outside the Brisbane 22. These were the events that happened, and the referee ruling a knock-on. Draw for the semi-finals will be carried out at the end of this telecast tonight. Graham McNeese is back in our Channel 10 studios. Penalty against Mortimer for an incorrect feed. And with Graham will be the General Manager of the New South Wales League, Mr. John Quayle. And they'll conduct the semi-final draw at the end of tonight's telecast. Parramatta and Eastern Suburbs already through to the semi-finals. They'll be joined tonight by either Canterbury or Brisbane. And of course St George plays Balmain next Wednesday night at Tamworth, and the winner of that will make up the other semi-finalist. Canterbury 8, Brisbane 4, 5 minutes of the third quarter remaining. Lewis, flick passing inside. And a knock-on has been ruled against Canterbury, so a scrum is to go down. So Lewis was making this break when he realised that the traffic was getting a bit thick, and he chanced that pass out the back. Nobody supporting. Fed by Foster and won by Brisbane. But Canterbury have come up with possession. Played by Steve Folkes. And it's with Brian Batiste now. Midway between the 22 and halfway on the Canterbury end of the field.
The situations where the Brisbane defence will have to be particularly careful is when Lewis goes up into the line, either at a marker or just in the line in defensive situations. And if Mortimer decides or elects to chip over the top when he's in that line, they've got no cover defence at all.
Terry Lamb with a good kick in general play. It gained about 30 metres for the Canterbury side and found touch right on the Brisbane 22. So we come back to the scrum, fed by Foster, won by Brisbane. Out to Lewis, now to Scott. And Andrew Farrer goes in to make a driving tackle on the Brisbane fullback. Miles, just outside the 22. The match still very much in the balance. Linda. Meninga's gone to dummy half. Pass to Lewis, appeared forward. Fed back to the hooker, Muller. Now to Foster. Foster to Killaway. Killaway looks for a support, but it's a mile away from him. And now he's lost the ball. And there goes Steve Mortimer. This is his brother Peter now, fending off one would-be tackle. Players midway between the 22 and halfway on the Brisbane end of the field. Lamb, Kelly. Kelly tackled up the top by Jones. Down low by Kellaway. 6 more tackles for Canterbury as it's a handoff from Tunks through Johnston. Now it's with Potter. Batiste will have Canterbury in our NEC big game on Sunday from Penrith Park against the Panthers. Johnston, Steve Mortimer had a look to his left. He was going to pass, but it would have required a pass of about 20 metres to find the nearest support. Here's Lamb losing it, picked up by Conlon. This is Folkes. They're only about 15 metres out from the Brisbane line. Steve Mortimer back to Folkes. Folkes takes it inside the 10. It came off a Brisbane player. It's back now with Folkes. Play on, says the referee. It's with Peter Mortimer. Played still about 15 metres out. Potter taking it towards that bottom corner. But he's tackled about 6 metres away from the Brisbane line. Canterbury really throwing it on now. This is Folkes trying to step his way inside. Bundled up and tackled there by Fullerton Smith. And now it's Johnston's turn to try and crack the Brisbane line. Billy Johnston plays it. It's out with Steve Mortimer. Now Terry Lamb. He's lost it. Knock on. And a scrum is to go down 15 metres out from the Brisbane line. Greg Mullane going onto the field. And it's going to be Andrew Farrer going to the bench. Penalty to Canterbury. Tap by Mortimer. Well, they've got to be inside the 10, surely. Inside the 10 a mile they were. This is Kelly. And a penalty to Canterbury. That's against Fullerton Smith. Let's have a look at it now. Kelly went up, was tackled, and Fullerton Smith went for a couple of quick shots on Kelly right in front of the uprights, which is a pretty stupid place to start throwing punches.
Good.
You don't really need a goal kicker to kick these, but Ross Conlon would be chuckling. He'd be giggling getting a kick like this given to him. 9 metres out, right in front, and there's a bit of a breeze sprung up again. And Conlon takes the further 2 points presented to the Canterbury side by Brisbane, and Canterbury lead by 10 points to 4. The siren has sounded. That's the end of the third quarter. We'll take a break and be back with the final quarter in just a moment.
Keep on rockin'. New from Brian Catt, his 16 greatest hits.
Every my son, with the law and the law has won. I said every mother's son.
They're all here.
Silver City birthday celebration day. Silver sequins flashing and going our way.
Keep on rockin'. All the hits you know from this great singer-songwriter Brian Catt.
Gimme good lovin' every night.
Alvin Verbal, Show Me the Way, Sweet Rock and Roll.
Gimme good love.
Ginger Man.
Don't make follow me home, babe.
go.
It ain't worth it if it...
Keep on rockin'. Brian Camp at his incomparable best. Don't stop. Keep on rockin'. New from J&B. Another breakthrough in Australian technology.
What a ripper!
A carpet spot and stain remover that really works. Lipstick. With Ripper, no problems. Red wine, boot polish, ink, coffee, grease. In fact, most household stains are easily removed by simply spraying and wiping. With Ripper, you don't even need to vacuum.
What a ripper!
Ripper Carpet Stain Remover. Available at all leading supermarket, department and hardware stores.
A love story. An adventure. A man from Snowy River.
He's running, and that's final. You'll kill him.
The champion who beat the world.
Go!
Farland.
Katharine Hepburn, Henry Fonda, and Jane Fonda are together in a very special motion picture on Golden Pond.
Commences Thursday at Aspley, Richlands, Cannon Hill, Redcliffe and Beanley drive-ins.
Players coming back out for the final quarter with no changes to either side. Canterbury leading by 6 points. The penalty count at the moment that reads out at 12-8. (6-5) the scrums, 14-9 the penalties, I beg your pardon. 6-5 the scrums to Canterbury. And here's the Canterbury side coming out now. So it would seem the way the penalties are running that Brisbane, if they can score and convert, will win this quarter-final battle on a penalty countback. That's, of course, providing there is no further addition to a medium of tries during this final quarter. But should it end at 10-all with a try and a goal for Brisbane on the penalties at the moment, Brisbane would be ruled as the winner. 10 viewers, rugby league viewers in Sydney. The Commonwealth Bank Cup match will be seen on Saturday morning, by the way, at 8 o'clock. Commonwealth Bank Cup, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, between Keebra Park High and St Mary's Christian Brothers, Toowoomba. Not a bad side either. So here's Canterbury now on their own 22 line. And it's Kelly who's unable to play the ball. Billy Johnston and Wally Fullerton Smith standing closest to Kelly, just exchanging a joke of some description. Kelly getting some attention to the jaw area. Just repeating, that semi-final draw will be done at the end of tonight's telecast. Graham McNeese will be joined in Sydney by John Quayle, the New South Wales General Manager. So you'll know tonight who your side is playing in the semi-finals. Next Wednesday night, we're at Tamworth for the battle between the Saints and the Tigers. In fact, one of our most successful jaunts to the country was at Lismore a couple of years ago, and that too was a match between St George and Balmain. Clearing kick by Canterbury. They must keep the ball out of their own 22. Long run by Scott, linking up with Kilroy, and he's taken by Peter Mortimer. Scott, number 14, is Greg Mullane. Of course, Greg came on to replace Andrew Farrer in the latter part of the third quarter. Chain passing by Brisbane. Linda's pass has gone right out to Rebo. Rebo comes to the halfway. He's taken by Terry Lamb. It's a difficult task for Lamb. He's only a small, chunky man, and Rebo was, by comparison, a giant. And Lamb had to take him head on. He did the job well. Here's Miles getting a pass to Fullerton Smith. He's tackled about 35 metres out from the Canterbury line. A couple of these Canterbury forwards are getting back slowly. Meninga now hits the blind with a dummy half run. 5 tackles gone. The bomb is coming from Wally Lewis. Now he holds it up and passes, but it's going to come up with Canterbury. Broman is on for Canterbury.
Broman's on and Peter Kelly's had to leave the field.
Kelly has been taken from the field. Daryl Broman is on. Mortimer. That's Gillespie. Steve Mortimer getting a pass away to Johnston. Now it's with Broman. Turns it inside for Tunks. Tunks is over the halfway. Broman only on there a matter of seconds. Here's Greg Mullane. Greg looking for the opening. 5 tackles gone against Canterbury. Terry Lamb kicks from general play. Rebo goes back. Gets a favourable bounce. And here's Rebo now taking it up to the 22 line. Lost in the play the ball. He's going to put the scrum down. And another replacement coming on now for Brisbane. Martin Bella in jumper number 16. He captained the Australian under-18s, this fellow. Martin Bella. Richard Paulson taken from the field by coach Bob McCarthy. Scrum win to Canterbury. It's out to Lamb. The run around is on with Mortimer. And Lewis goes up very fast and comes up with possession. That's not a bad trick. I thought he had possession. The referee agreed, but he lost it. And he's putting a scrum down. Well, Lewis did 3 things then. He went up very fast. Lamb had to push his pass very quickly to Mortimer. Lewis dropped off Lamb and took Mortimer and hit him with such force that he was then able to dive on the loose ball. So he was doing plenty of things, and he really bustled the Canterbury halves. Linda, Fullerton Smith, Bella unable to take it. Miles gets it to Meninga. This will be interesting. Chris Mortimer did well. Chris Mortimer making the tackle on the big Queensland centre. Kilroy.
Brisbane need a converted try desperately, but they've still got to consider the fact that they can't throw pressure passes and cough up possession. They've got to hold the ball and only use it and spread the ball wide when the occasions arise.
Well, the 2 freshmen just collided, Bella and Broman. Foster, Lewis. Good pass by Lewis. That was Jones making a big run. He's reached the Canterbury 22 line. 5 tackles gone. Lewis kicks ahead. Pursues, Conlon's underneath it, and Lewis makes the tackle and forces him in goal.
He's had a big 3 or 4 minutes, Wally Lewis. You'd like to have 6 of him.
I was just going to say, he's playing power football at the moment, Lewis. He hit Conlon and hit him with tremendous force. Canterbury leading by 6 points. The drop kick has come straight to Scott. He's run 10, he's run 20 metres. So Brisbane start to set themselves up now for another attack on the Canterbury line.
Brisbane are running hot at the moment, and what Canterbury have to do is slow this game down, get the ball back and then play the game at their pace.
Kellaway. He's only 15 metres out. And playing the ball back to Hooker Muller, he works the blind and finds Kilroy. Kilroy is inside the 10-metre line. Meninga's the dummy half. He thinks about the blind, changes his mind, gives it to Foster, then to Lewis. And this is Bella. Bella with a very strong run. He's 3 metres out. He's nullified the tackle count too. 6 more tackles for Brisbane. Foster to Lewis. Lewis floats a pass out. It's come down to Scott. And Scott has scored for the Brisbane side. A beautiful pass by Wally Lewis. Straight into the waiting arms of Colin Scott. And what pressure there is on this kick now. From the dummy half, it came through Foster to Lewis, and then he cut out Gene Miles with a long, long pass, and Colin Scott was running free. Lewis sticking to a pattern to play Canterbury out wide.
Not only was it a great pass by Lewis, but it was his summing up of the situation. He recognised that Scott was unmarked out on the flank, and he threw the pass across to him. Scott did the rest by running onto the ball and going over for a tremendous try.
Well, just looking at the electronic scoreboard here at Lang Park, they had 10 all. They had 10 all in the frame, and just as I asked my director to give me a shot of it, they zapped the 10 out and put up the correct score. Canterbury 10, Brisbane 8.
Meninga hasn't been kicking well this year, but if there's one he'd like to kick, it'd be the one coming up.
Mal Meninga. He's 7 metres in from touch on the 22 line. There's a breeze coming down the ground. It'll be blowing directly across the flight of this ball. This could be $125,000 worth of goal kick. He hits it, he's missed it. He sprayed it out to the right. So Canterbury hanging in there at 10 points to 8 in the third quarter final.
From Kennedy Miller, the creators of the dismissal, comes Bodyline.
I'm here to win the Ashes.
The warrior, Douglas Jardine, a man obsessed.
Winning is everything to me, isn't it?
The weapon, Harold Larwood, the most fearsome fast bowler on earth.
I want you fitter, faster and meaner than you've ever been.
The target, our Don Bradman, Australia's greatest batsman.
This country needs heroes, and that's what Don Bradman is.
That bowling was part of a premeditated plan of attack. And if you don't act on it now, somebody will get killed.
Relive the fierce determination of the Aussie team, bloodied but unbowed, upholding our nation's pride.
Somewhere out there, they taught us about courage. Going out against all the odds and giving it your best.
Events that nearly split an empire and almost turned cricket ground into battlefield.
This isn't cricket, it's war.
Bodyline premieres over 4 magnificent nights, 7:30 Monday to Thursday. Brought to you by Nissan and TVO.
Give it a spin, give it a spin. Anyone who's anyone is in your HBD. Your home and business directory, it's simple, plain to see. Talk to me.
Talk to me.
I'm in your HBD. Anyone, anytime, get them on the line with your HBD. Give it a spin, HBD. Give it a spin, HBD. Anyone who's anyone is in your HBD. Give it a spin.
It's Bookworld, where you never have to pay full price. Roll books are 10 to 80% off. From Bookworld comes a most unique book, The Joy of Sex. A practical and compassionate book, beautifully presented. Its colour pictures and line drawings capture in full, frank detail the intimacy of the act of love. The Joy of Sex has sold over 5 million copies worldwide. Normally priced at $11.95, now at Bookworld, pay even less than half price, $5.95. There's a Bookworld store near you.
Welcome back to the final quarter of this clash, this torrid clash between Canterbury and Brisbane. I was only talking to Bill during the commercial. As Canterbury win the scrum, it's come out to Terry Lamb. We were saying how tough and torrid it had been without being spectacular.
And the field goal attempt by Terry Lamb that hit the uprights, looking important now.
Yes, well, of course, the way the penalty count was at three-quarter time, Brisbane now need to kick a penalty goal. And provided they keep up that lead in the penalty count, they would take it out on the penalty count back. And I can't recall off the top of my mind when this last happened. There's the drop goal by Lamb. He's got it. Terry Lamb kicking a field goal, sending the Canterbury side to a lead of 11 points to 8 now. Beautiful kick by Lamb. Canterbury 11, Brisbane 8. So that makes the task a lot more difficult for Brisbane now. He's ruled the knock on. Folks, the number 8. Well, though Stephen may have been facing his own try line, the referee believed the ball was propelled to his opponent's goal line, which constitutes a knock-on. The scrum inside the Canterbury 22. Won by Brisbane. Foster parcelled up 10 metres out from the Canterbury line. Lewis cutting out Meninga. That pass must have gone 20 metres, believe me. It's with Bella now. Turns, finds Meninga. He's tackled 18 metres out. Brisbane with another chance now. As it goes to Kellaway. He's tackled 15 out from the Canterbury line.
You'll find this will be a series of Wally Lewis setting the ball for Meninga and Miles. There his 2 trump cards.
Jones took that ball in full flight. 10 metres out. Lewis. Oh, he passes and it's gone to Mortimer. But that was a very, very savage tackle by Terry Lamb on Wally Lewis. But still the Brisbane skipper and Australian skipper was prepared to try and unload as the ball goes loose, and Brisbane have come up with it again. 20 metres out from the Canterbury line. Lewis switching the point of the attack, finding Foster. Here, yes, Brisbane have hit the lead now. Brisbane in front by a point. Oh yes, look at this crowd now. They've gone mad here at Lang Park as the general, Wally Lewis, calls the shots. Foster, that was a magic ball by the former Penrith player, Henry Foster, and Rebo scores. Now all the pressure is back on Canterbury.
Lewis read it again, switched the play back to the blind side. Foster made the break. Canterbury was short in defence. Brisbane had the overlap and Rebo did the rest.
John Rebo, the try scorer. Here's another angle shot as Lewis dummied to the run round. Switched the point of the attack. The Brisbane chant goes up as Johnny Rebo picks up the try. Brisbane leading by a point. The Canterbury front runners in the Premier, the Canterbury side front runners in the Winfield Cup. Now in awful trouble. Under 7 minutes to go. Deafening the noise here at Lang Park when Rebo went in. 15 metres in from touch, 20 metres out. He's got it! Rebo has had his try converted by Meninga. Big Mel is again on top of the pedestal. Brisbane leading Canterbury by 14 to 11. The Bulldogs, can they come back? 6.5 minutes to do it. Conlon's kick, knocked on by Colin Scott, right just out in front of the goal line. Big kick by Conlon, and Colin Scott embarrassingly knocking on in front of the Brisbane goal line.
We were saying at three-quarter time that it had been a tough physical game but hadn't been spectacular. This has been an absolutely marvellous fourth quarter.
Canterbury with a great chance now. Mortimer works with Foach, and Foach is tackled 2 metres out from the Brisbane line. Mortimer finds Batiste, and Batiste is tackled. He's 6 metres out from the line. This is the third tackle. It's gone out to Chris Mortimer. He's tackled. 11 out. Centre field. Oh, he took it right to the chin from Miles. It's gone to Lamb. It's out with Greg Mullane. Mullane, he's over. I think it's a try. Now he's put him in the touch. The touch judge has ruled him out. Steve Mortimer really voicing off in there. Well, he's ruled that Greg Mullane went into touch. See it again. Well, impossible from that shot. This one should tell us. Let's have a look at this. Well, it was a terrible decision for the touch judge to have to make. Tremendously difficult. I'm glad we had that shot from the corner. It looked like the foot was on the touchline just prior to the ball being grounded. But I can also understand the frustration and the anger that Steve Mortimer must have been feeling. Lewis, back to Foster, across the ground to Linda. Linda's tackled about 5 metres on the Brisbane side of halfway. 4.25 minutes to go. Referee calling time back on. Miles kicks, looks for touch, finds it. Miles has found touch. 35 metres out from the Canterbury line. Well, Canterbury, they need the football. Brisbane must get that ball and keep it for long periods of time, slowing the game down. They lead by 3, the Brisbane side, after trailing for the greater part of the game. Lamb looking for the opening, playing it in centre field. Darryl Broman, long ball to Greg Mullane, he's dropped it, and a knock-on has been ruled. Well, what a final quarter. What a final quarter this has been. Brisbane have been to the Cup final once. That was in '79 when they played Cronulla Sutherland. And it's looking very much like they're going anyway to a semi-final this year. 3 minutes of time remaining. Billy Johnston, Terry Lamb, Steve Mortimer, Brian Batiste. The Bulldogs. Billy Johnston to dummy half. Steve Mortimer comes from the blind to the open. They work an X around the play the ball area. And it's Greg Mullane who now plays it. Dummy half is Michael Potter. Darryl Broman. Taken by Bella. Johnston. Mortimer. Folks. Tackled in centre ground. 35 metres out from the Brisbane line. Lamb. Greg Mullane. There's an overlap if he passes. It's with Conlon. Now Potter. And Potter's tackled on the 22. Last tackle coming up for Canterbury. 2 minutes to go. The kick by Terry Lamb. It'll be too deep. And it goes over the dead ball line. So it comes back to the 22. And Brisbane will take the tap. And probably will use some very simple plays now, such as this. Kilroy. Muller passes and finds Kellaway. 1.5 minutes of time remaining. Brisbane by 14 points.